Hi, welcome to the class. Today we'll do another topic of chapter calorimetry. The name of the topic is principle of mixtures or principle of calorimetry. So this principle basically is a very simple principle, and based on this principle we'll do few numericals as well. So this principle says that principle of mixtures or principle of calorimetry says that heat energy lost by the hot body. So whatever amount of heat energy the hot body is going to lose, the same amount of heat energy will be gained by the cold body. So if you have a cold body and you have a hot body, and if you make these two bodies to get in contact, or if you have liquid form, you can mix up these two bodies, you will find that the hot body is going to lose heat, and the same amount of heat will be gained by the cold body. Okay, so this is the statement of this principle. Now let us see how this mathematical interpretation of this statement is like. So we have assumed two bodies, A body, B body. Mass of A body is N1, mass of B body is N2. Temperature of A body is T1 and temperature of B body is T2. We have assumed that let T1 is greater than T2. It means temperature of A body is greater than the temperature of B body. The specific heat capacity of A body is C1 and the specific heat capacity of B body is C2. So this one is hot body because its temperature is more, and this one is cold body because its temperature is less. And when we mix up these two bodies, the common temperature is T, the common temperature, because A body is going to lose some heat as it is hot body, and the B body is going to gain some heat because it is a cold body. So after mixing up, there will be a common temperature of this mixture, and that is what we have assumed as T, which is the common temperature. Now we all know that heat energy Q is equals to mc delta T, where this delta T is the change in temperature. So for A body, this formula goes like this: M1 C1, and then this will be T1 minus T. Why T1 minus T? Because T1 is greater than T2, so it is going to lose heat. So in for common temperature, T1 will be more and T will be less, therefore we have T1 minus T. So don't be worried about how this expression has come. I am going to give you an example later on. Okay, as of now you just take it T1 minus T because T1 is greater, so T will be less. For the other body, if you apply the same formula, it will be M2, C2 and then delta T. So delta T, this will be more because this T2 is less than T1. So this body is going to, A body is going to lose some heat, and the same amount of heat energy will be gained by this body. So this will be T minus T2. So I have taken an example here, guys. T1 is 100 degrees Celsius, T2 is 30 degrees Celsius, and common temperature after mixing up. Okay, let us assume that this is hot water, this is cold water. So after mixing up, the common temperature is 50 degrees Celsius. So this temperature will be T1 minus T. It will be 100 minus 50 degrees Celsius. So this temperature, this change in temperature is 50 degrees Celsius. Here you can see it is 30 degree. Common temperature will be more 50 degree because whatever amount of heat energy is lost by this body, how much this body has lost, how much heat energy this body has lost, or how much temperature change this body has done. It has done a change in temperature of 50 degrees Celsius. Now the same will be gained by this body. So it will be 50 minus 30. 50 is the common temperature, mind you. 50 minus 30, it means 20 degrees Celsius. So as you can see, the temperature of this body has reduced, whereas the other body has gained 20 degrees Celsius. So this body has lost 50 degrees Celsius, but this body has gained 20 degrees Celsius. So I hope this was clear to you. Now let us do some numericals based on this. Okay. So the very first numerical is a simple one, which is not based on this, but it is a simple numerical to calculate the specific heat capacity. So the numerical reads out 1300 joule of heat energy is supplied to raise the temperature of 0.5 kg of lead from 20 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius. Calculate the specific heat capacity of lead. So heat energy is given. Okay, so by mistake I have taken it 1200, make it 1300 joule. Mass is 0.5 kg and temperature has increased from 20 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius. So I have taken T1 as 20 degrees Celsius, T2 as 40 degrees Celsius. Change in temperature will be T2 minus T1. That is 40 degrees Celsius minus 20 degrees Celsius. And as I told you earlier in the previous session, that this change in temperature will be 20 degrees Celsius, and we can write it as further as 20 Kelvin, because the change in temperature for degree Celsius and change in temperature for Kelvin are same. Using the formula Q is equals to mc delta T, make it 1300 is equals to 0.5 into C into delta T, that is 20. So that is Kelvin. Point remove 10, 51, 52, 21, 210, 10 goes off there, so it is 1300, and the answer comes 1300 joule per kg per Kelvin. Units are important. So this is the first one. Let's begin the second one. So this is the second numerical, and these kind of numericals are one of my favorites, because in this question we have used two concepts and then mix up them. Okay, so here we have electric heater whose power is 600 watt. Power is given 600 watt, raises the temperature of 4 kg, mass is given of a liquid, T1 is given, T2 is given, change in temperature easily can be calculated, and time is given. So power is equals to 600 watt, mass is this, T1 10 degree, T2 15 degree, change we have calculated, 15 minus 10, 5 degrees Celsius or 5 Kelvin, time is given. Now in order to calculate the energy, that is the heat energy, because energy, heat is also a form of energy, we have used this formula of current electricity, energy is equals to power into time, energy is equals to power 600 time 100, 6 into 10 to the power 4 joule. Now the first part of the question, heat capacity, you have to calculate the heat capacity. So the formula for heat capacity is Q upon delta T. So Q is this, heat, upon delta T is change in temperature, 6 divided by 5, 1.2, 10 to the power 4 joule per Kelvin. This is important guys. The unit of heat capacity will be joule per Kelvin, as it does not have to consider mass. So there is no mass, that is why it is not joule per kg per Kelvin. In the other part we have to calculate the specific heat capacity. So using this you can easily calculate, or again you can do Q is equals to mc delta T, and you can also do like this, mc delta T, then C is equals to Q upon m delta T. But since I know the relation directly, I can use the relation and do it directly instead of going through this lengthy method. But that is also an option. But I suggest you to do this in order to save your time. So C is equals to specific heat capacity is equals to heat capacity upon mass. Heat capacity already calculated, mass 4 kg is given in the question, divided, now you look at this, 0.3 10 to the power 4 joule per kg per Kelvin. So this specific heat capacity has to consider mass, whereas heat capacity does not consider mass. Let us move on to the next one. Hi, so this is a new numerical. Now this numerical is purely based on principle of mixtures. Before this we have done two numericals. One was to calculate a specific heat capacity, other was to calculate heat capacity and then the relation between the two. So this one is purely based on principle of mixtures. So let's begin. So 45 gram of water at 50 degrees Celsius in a beaker is cooled. So we have water, 45 gram of water, temperature of the water is given. So it is being cooled when 50 gram of copper at 18 degree. So the temperature of copper is less as compared to the temperature of water. So water is being cooled when 50 gram of copper is which is at 18 degrees being added to it. The contents are stirred So they are mixed up properly and a finite constant temperature is reached. We have to calculate that finite temperature, and the specific heat capacity for copper is given and that of water is given. So let's begin. So I have taken first the data for water, which is M1 is equals to 45 gram, temperature is 50 gram, specific heat capacity for water is this much gram. Now guys, you need to pay attention to an important part while dealing with these kind of questions, is that some of the students will try to convert this into kg. Please do not do that, as we need to make sure that whatever unit we have here, the same unit is for the mass. Okay, if that is the case, and in both the cases we are going to have the same. Both the cases means for water and for copper. So copper is gram and here gram. So this has come like this. Now I have assumed that common temperature be T. So this is the principle of mixtures, M1 C1 T1 minus T, because this T1 is greater than this T2. So T1 minus T, and the other one will be M2 C2 T minus T2, because this is going to gain some heat. Okay. So we have put up the values: 45 into 4.2, 50 minus T, 50 into 0.39 T minus T, solved it. Now guys, in this numerical the problem was that the numbers were quite complicated to solve. But in your exam, in your board exam, they won't give such kind of questions, but these kind of questions are really important for us to practice. So they are really good questions when it comes to practice. But in the board exam, I believe that they are not going to give this much of complicated calculation part. Anyway, let us see this how we have solved it. You remove the point 10 will come, remove the point 100 will come, 51, 52. Here point is gone, 5. Okay, this have 2, 2s are 2, 1s are, this is 2, 5, 5, 1, 9, 9 into this 21, here 39 upon 2, t minus this 2 will come here, but before that I have cancelled these two terms with 3, then 9 into 2, 18 into 7, 13, multiply this 13t minus 18 into 13, 234, multiply this by this 126, 50 minus t, 13t minus as it is, multiply 126 by 50 and then t, then solve it and you will get your answer as t is equals to 47 K.